Hi, everybody. This is Michael Small, and today I want to share a few reflections on Charles Fillmore. The chapter, The Development of Divine Love, from his book Talks of Truth. The Fillmores believed that divine love is not just about an emotion, it's that warm feeling that we get. Love is taught, is the very essence of God. And I think we forget that. So it is a spiritual principle, a power that can be developed in our own life. It's just sometimes it takes a while to get there, and I'm not sure why. Here I am, 56 years old, and still trying to figure this out. Um, but the power of this principle is that can be developed in our lives as we align our thoughts and actions with God's presence. You're going to hear a cat. He's going to be meowing. He wants some attention. He wants love. So the question is, as we explore, what does it mean to develop divine love? And how can we live in a way that speaks to the challenges that face today? The Fillmores draw a clear distinction between what we usually call love and what is called divine love. Human love often depends on circumstances. I love you because you love me back. I love you because you agree with me. I also love you as much as you treat me well, as you treat me well. But divine love goes deeper. And I have to kind of go back. Is that really love? Because when we think about, hey, I love you if you do this for me, that's conditional love, which is different than unconditional love. Fillmore calls it the great harmonizer. The Spirit forces us that bids and heals all of life. It's not just about liking everyone's behavior because, there's going to be times when people's behavior doesn't align with our alignment. And not two people actually see the same thing. As you know, I might see things differently than you do. But seeing beyond that surface and recognizing divine essence in each person is so key to really understand divine love. Divine love is the recognition that we're all children of God, connected by one source. That means divine love is not limited by preferences, differences, or even conflict. It's not about something we manufacture through willpower. It's something we must be awakened to and practice as a spiritual discipline. I kind of think of it as going to the gym. And when you go to the gym, you work on your muscles. Well, it's kind of the same thing. You have to sit there and work on that, even that higher consciousness, that love. We have to work at it. And we're not always perfect at the very beginning, but we're getting there. So how do we develop this divine love? Fillmore's believed that love grows within us. And when we intentionally turn our thoughts towards God's, to our God or God's, in the case they may be, Fillmore wrote, love is the great harmonizer and healer. Whoever calls on divine love on a daily thought, word, and deed will experience its softening and undefined power. So, how do we develop this? Well, we do it through prayer and meditation, for one. Every time we turn inward and affirm, I am an expression of divine love, we're training our minds to see with new eyes. We begin to think less from fear and more from compassion. We think about what's actually happening in the world today, which I'm hoping to get into later. But when we stop thinking with this mind and start thinking with the heart, and I'm pointing at the heart, our world begins to change. It transforms. We begin to see things differently, and the fear goes away. And even forgiveness is one of those most practical ways to divine love. Think about why we even forgive people. Is it for them? It's most certainly for us. It doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it frees us from bitterness, right? So the Fillmore often reminds us that resentment blocks the flow of divine love in our lives. Think about that. Love creates more love. Hate creates more of its kind. So when we think about forgiveness, we're letting it go, not for them, for us, so that we can begin that healing process. And we also do this through our daily practice by developing love is like building a muscle. I said that earlier in this video. It's not just about lofty ideas about small choices. It's about to be as it may be as simple as being patient in traffic. Think about why that person is going really slow, or maybe on their telephone while they're waiting for the light to change and the light changed to green, and they sit there for a minute. Maybe it's divine providence that it's helping you develop patience. It may be simple as extending kindness to a difficult coworker, or even pausing before reacting in anger instead of choosing compassion. Take a minute, breathe, feel that breath that comes in, and it calms you down, and you release, of course. And through community, number 4, we can also develop divine love when we surrender ourselves with others who are committed to living it. In spiritual community, we practice seeing Christ in one another. I behold the Creator in you, or the Christ consciousness in you, even when we don't always agree. Because, like I said earlier, no two people see the same things over and over again. So, why does this matter today? It's no secret that our world today feels so divided, practically, politically, socially, even with families. Fear, anger, and mistrust seem to dominate the headlines. What do you do with this? I think we, as people of unity, are unitics. We're called to help raise the consciousness of the world. Think about that. Isn't that a great thing? To just raise the consciousness of who we are. And it starts with us. Really, it does. And I think that's why Fillmore's message is so powerful for us right now. Developing divine love is not about escaping from the world's problems, but transforming it, how we respond to. So, excuse me again, how we respond to the world by taking that anger and refocusing it into something more positive and more loving. Imagine what would happen if we chose to respond with divine love instead of reacting. Imagine if we acted from love and lived in love in our conversations, instead of needing to win an argument. We first sought to understand, and we imagine if when someone wrongs us, our first step is to pause, take a moment, Breathe and silently affirm God's love is present here. And ask yourself, why? Why is that happening? Right? Why is that actually happening? This doesn't mean being passive or ignoring injustice of the world. Rather, it means that our actions are rooted in compassion, not in fear or hatred. And I think that's really important as we think about this because, I just was on a men's retreat this last weekend that I led. And one of the guys that was in there feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. And I think he doesn't understand by just letting that go, a lot of that will go away. But I think in a lot of ways, a lot of the men thinks that letting go is weakness. It's not, it's a strength. Divine love gives us courage to face challenges without losing our center. Doesn't mean problems don't exist. They do. It's just how do we deal with that? How do we translate that into raising consciousness? So, how do we put this into practice? This week, I invite you to choose just one person or one situation in your life that feels difficult. It may be a strained relationship, a frustrating coworker, or even public figure you struggle to understand. I can pick one that I have a hard time trying to understand. But it really helped when I started doing this work several months ago. I finished a book about it, and it's all about learning how to work the shadow side of life. We I realized that in this book, I realized that I'm just an expression of the divine, and so is this other person. And so I have to see the Christ in them. And so this is my affirmation for you. I am the expression of divine love. I see the Christ in you. Repeat that again. I'm expressions of divine love. I see the Christ in you. You don't have to say it loud or even let them know what you're doing, but watch what happens inside of you as you practice. You may notice a softening, a shift of perspective, even a little bit more peace in your heart. But something always changes when you practice that. The Fillmores teaches us that it's simply simple but profound. Love is not only God's nature, it is our own. Think about Genesis 1. I can't think of the verse, but Jesus said, or God said, let us make man in our image. Well, who's God? What is God's image? What does that God's image looks like for you? To me, God's image is complete, whole, and love. It's just full of love. So if God is like that, aren't we that? And if we are a spark of God, what are we creating? Are we creating more hate or are we creating more love? And the more we develop it, the more healing will begin to ourselves and into the world. The more healing we bring to ourselves and to the world, this is what happens when we change the way we think. So, in closing, I'll leave you with this thought. Divine love is not just a concept. It's not just a concept to study, but a reality to live. I think that's the whole message of Jesus, is that we have to live love. If you want love in the world, be that love. If you want more joy in the world, be more joy. Because remember, more love creates love. More hate creates more hate. So may each of you, I pray, will grow in the development of divine love. Love, remembering that love is the very essence of God working through us. Thank you for listening, and blessings on all our journeys. And so it is. Amen.